Hello, everybody. How are you? Welcome back to Brain Bank Book Series. I'm Brian, your teacher for today. Take a look at this picture. This is the cover of the book we will read today. The title is Sculptures. Sculptures. 조금 힘들어, right? Sculptures. What is a sculpture? Do you see a sculpture in this picture? Yes, we see the sculpture is here. What is it a sculpture of? What is the sculpture of? If you look closely, we see a mother, oma, and a baby, agi, right? So it is a sculpture. It is a sculpture of a mother and her baby. A mother and her baby. Who is making this sculpture? Who is it? Is it a man or a woman? We can see it is a man. Is he using his hands to make the sculpture? No. He's using a tool. He's using a type of tool. Tool is T-O-O-L. He's using a tool to make the sculpture. What do we call him? If this is a sculpture, he is a sculptor, a sculptor. So let's read about sculptures and the people who make them. Are you ready? Let's begin. What is a sculpture? A sculpture is a carved or shaped work of art. It's art. The mother and her baby, that is art. People who make sculptures are called sculptors. The man in the picture before this one is a sculptor. He's a sculptor. He makes a sculpture. Did he use his hands? No. We said he was using a tool. In the bottom of this picture, we can see many different kinds of tools. Okay? These are used to make sculptures. In the first two, it says clay. Clay. Clay is jinhook, right? That's clay. In the middle one, it says wood. Wood is from a tree, namu, right? It's wood. The bottom two, it says stone. Stone is dul, very, very strong. So stone. So we can see that sculptures are made of different materials. Clay, wood, and stone. This and this are clay modeling tools. A clay modeling tools. We make a model, a shape. A model is also a sculpture. A clay modeling tool. We have two kinds. Here it says a wood chisel. Chisel. Can you say that word? Chisel. Chisel. A chisel is sharp on this end. 조심해요. Be careful. Don't push it against your skin. Don't do that. It's sharp. Ooh, 위험하세요. A chisel, and then you have a hammer like this one, and you go tak, 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 and you can carve the wood or you can carve stone. This chisel is much stronger than that chisel. Wood is not as tough as stone. So a stone chisel, oh, no more, it's very strong. And a stone hammer, tuck, 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 tuck. And then you can carve the stone. So sculptors use different tools. Use different tools because the material is different. Clay material, wood material, and stone material. So we need different tools. Okay. They use many different materials. Like I said, clay, wood, and stone. Let's look at this woman. What is she doing? She is making a sculpture. What do we call her? We call her a sculptor. Good job. Now, what material is she using? Well, we can look at her tool. Do you see the tool she is using in this picture? Do you see it? Here it is. It looks like the tool we saw before. This tool, this shape on the end, that's the same shape as this one here. And this is a clay modeling tool. That's what she is using here. So, we can know this material is clay. And what is she making out of the clay? She's making horses and warriors. Now, clay is easy to shape, right? Clay is like mud. Mud that has some water in it. You can push it, you can shape it, and it stays like this. If you put clay in a lot of heat, the clay becomes hard and you can't shape it anymore. So she's using wet clay. Later she will dry it with heat and it will become a finished sculpture. So she is a sculptor. She is making a clay sculpture. She's using a clay modeling tool. Let's continue. Now, that's clay. Another type of material is stone. Clay is easy to shape, right? We can push clay with our finger, boop, no problem. We make a difference in the shape. But if you take your finger and you push stone, what happens? Nothing. Okay? The stone is very strong. You can't change the shape. However, some sculptors work with stone. They cut the stone with tools, very strong tools. They shape it with other tools. So first, they use one kind of tool to cut the stone. So they cut the stone into a block or a brick or a cube. They cut the stone, then they use other tools to shape the stone. So what is he doing? He has a stone chisel and he's using a hammer here. So he's using a stone hammer and a stone chisel, chane paseo, stone hammer, stone chisel, to shape this stone into something. Do we know what he's making? I don't know. It's too early. He's starting it. He's still at the beginning stage. So later, na중에, we can see what he is making. But right now, I don't know what he's making. I have no idea. I can't tell. Okay. Do you know these sculptures? These sculptures are very famous. Where do you think these sculptures are? Have you seen pictures of these before? Maybe in your history textbook. In your history textbook, in your world history textbook, you might see these pictures. They are from Egypt. A long, 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 long time ago. Okay? Egyptian sculpture. How long ago? Think about 3,000 years 전에. 3,000 years ago. 3,000 years? Oh my gosh. How old are you? Maybe you are 8, 10 years old, somewhere in there. Do you know anybody who is 3,000 years old? Of course not. Most people, we only live maybe to 80 years old. That's if we're lucky, right? 80 years old. Nobody lives 3,000 years ago. Nobody remembers 3,000 years ago. That's a long, long time ago. But these sculptures were made thousands of years ago. Some stone sculptures are thousands of years old. They are made of stone. Stone is very strong. So they still last until today. Yes, we can see there is some damage, right? There's some damage. Oops, let me do that again. D-A-M-A-G-E, damage. Over a long time, some parts of the sculpture get broken. That is damage. Of course, these are thousands of years old, but still, they're in good condition. Not much damage, chokum damage, a little damage. But they still last today. That's how amazing stone sculptures, some stone sculptures are. They go back thousands of years. This is a statue. It's not that old. It is a stone statue, but it's not very old. It's not thousands of years old. Do you know where it is? This is a statue in Singapore, by the beach. What is it a statue of? It looks like an animal. It looks like an animal. This part we can recognize. We know this animal here. This, of course, looks like a lion. So it has a lion's head. It looks like a lion. Now this part is strange. What does this part look like? The bottom part looks like a fish, but a special kind of fish. Do you know a mermaid? Mermaid. A mermaid is not a real animal. It's not a 진짜 동물, right? It's not a real animal. It's a fantasy animal, like in animation or cartoons or fairy tales. So this part is of a mermaid. The statue together is called a merlion. Merlion. A merlion, not a mermaid. A maid is a young woman. A mermaid is a woman and fish, but this is lion and fish. So this is a merlion. By the way, mer means sea or ocean. Okay? So merlion. This is a merlion in Singapore. It's a stone statue. It's also, you see, what's this? This is water. Water is coming out of its mouth. So some statues, we call them as, whoops, let me see this, fountain. F-O-U-N-T-A-I-N. Fountain, that's a T. Fountain. So many statues, especially in cities, in Seoul, maybe you can see some statues with water coming out of them. Many cities have fountains, statues with water coming out of them. Sometimes kids like to play in them. Sometimes people just look at them and say, wow, it's very nice and maybe refreshing in the summertime. So these are fountains, statues with water coming out of them, usually made of what? Made of stone. Okay, so we've talked about stone statues. What are some other kinds of statues? Well, we'll look at different kinds of statues in part 2. We've come to an end of part 1. So let's take a break, and I will see you in part 2. Don't go away. Bye-bye for now.